they've actually blown through their fuel budget already, so they will respond to some non-emergency calls by phone.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a police force in Michigan that might not be able to come to you all the time because they cannot afford the gas. That's right. You thought you had it bad because you can't get gas to go on family vacation, or you might just want to go down to the local bar. You might want to go to an amusement park and the gas is kind of getting in the way. You got to kind of conserve trips and carpool, things of that nature. Well, imagine being a police force and you got to cut down on the trips you take out in your squad cars because of the gas. We know what time it is. The gas is ridiculously expensive. I think Gas Buddy said the national average is $5, but we've seen much higher prices than that. Try living in California. If you're living in California right now, my heart goes out to you. It really does, because you're paying $6, $7, $8, $9. I think I saw one station that had $10 gas. Now, I'm not quite sure if that's confirmed, but I have seen $6.99, $7.25 in California like it's normal. It's not normal. It's very abnormal. Just a couple years ago, we had gas $1.99, $2.25. Hey, something happened between then and now. I wonder what, but for now, I digress. Before I go any further into it, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you get a little bit more context as to what's going on with the whole gas situation in Michigan. And after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what was said there. Then I give you the rest of my 2 cents and my deep detail analysis. And then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Surging gas prices inching closer to a national average of $5 a gallon. The record high gas prices causing all sorts of problems nationwide, including in one town where police are changing the way they actually respond to calls. Alex Perez is in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Alex, good morning.
Hey, good morning. With gas prices are so high, the Isabella County Sheriff's Office here says they've actually blown through their fuel budget already, so they will respond to some non-emergency calls by phone, try to resolve those issues by phone. Now, the national average for a gallon of gas hovering at just under $5 at $4.97 a gallon right now. Here in Michigan, gas prices have set a record high for 7 consecutive days. And according to AAA, many might be trying to stretch out whatever gas they have. The company says in April they responded to more than 50,000 out of gas calls. That's a 32% increase from the same period last year. Now, the sheriff here says it will likely be several months before a new fuel budget is passed. Robin?
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, you can't be surprised. You can't be surprised at all, because when these prices go up, they have real world consequences. If gas 1 year ago was averaging $3, which is higher than it was in 2020, obviously, but if it was $3 just 1 year ago, now it's over $5, getting to the point where it's almost $6, that's double. So at a certain point, if you're a small town police force, you might not be able to afford the doubling of gas. You have a certain budget for everything. You got a budget for any kind of vehicle maintenance, new cars potentially, your gas, your equipment, your weapons, your ammunition. You have a certain budget for that you got to stick to, because you could just spend. But at a certain point, there's only so much money in the pot. You're getting it from local revenue, from taxes and whatnot. And once the budget is gone, now what? What are you going to do? How are you going to be able to pay for that? Are you going to have officers just fill up their own car on their own dime? What are you going to do? You got to do something. Now, see, the federales, they don't really care about that, because they have ways to be able to pay for whatever they want to pay for. They rob you at gunpoint, right? If you don't pay taxes, regular normie, just like I'm a regular normie, if we don't pay taxes, guess what? We're going straight to the penitentiary. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. You're going straight to the clink, the who's good, the pokey, all of that for not paying your taxes. And what are they going to do with the taxes? Take it and blow it on just the most ridiculous nonsense. Okay, if they want to raise the price of gasoline because they want to cut production, they want to cut new oil and gas leases, they want to cut Keystone XL, they want to cut Russian imports. When they want to do stuff like that and the price of gas rises as a result, they could just rob you to make more money to pay for the Air Force One jet fuel, because that is not free. That's not free at all. You know how much fuel a plane uses in one flight? Now imagine a private jet with like 2 people on it. It's still going to take the same amount of fuel as the jet would take if it was full, for the most part. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the point I'm making is the federal government don't really care about inflation and things of that nature because they have endless resources. It's you, the taxpayer. You are the endless resource. They're going to tax you to death. You know, this is why, you know, when I was a young man, I didn't really understand about taxes, and I would see guys on television complaining about taxes. You would see it as a joke in the movie, you know, death and taxes, 2 things you can't escape. I didn't really understand it back then, but now I do. Now I understand what it's like to pay an extreme amount of money to the federales, and then the frustration you see when you turn on the television and they totally waste your money. I'm talking about if you ever felt pain, that's pain right there. Seeing the feds rob you, gunpoint, and then burn your money. Take the money, put it in the toilet, and flush it. That's what they do with your money every day. So the feds don't care about inflation because they got the money to be able to pay for it. But if you're just a local police force, you can't just tax and spend like that. You can't just rob somebody at gunpoint for money. They would go to jail to do something like that, okay? This ain't third world Africa where you could just have officers pull you over and just take money from you and use it. Well, sometimes that happens. I don't want to talk about things like what they call them drug funds, like they got in certain spots of the country where you get pulled over. Oh, I smell weed. Oh, you got some drugs in the car. You got a bunch of money right there on your center console. Let me go ahead and get that. Oh, you want to complain? You trying to get locked up? Let me get that money. I've heard about that happening a lot. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's okay, but it does happen. And then, of course, the tried and true speed trap. That's the oldest trick in the book. Like if you're going on, I think it's what, like 460 or 58 out of Virginia. I think it's 58. And you're going from like Virginia Beach and you go through Emporia and all that kind of stuff down there. Big speed trap. They change it from 45 to 25 to 35 in like 1 minute. And if you get caught going the wrong speed any point in that 1 minute, when they keep changing the speed limit, you get pulled over. That's the whole trick. You pay a ticket because you're not trying to go to court. If you do go to court, you got to pay a ticket anyway. I got pulled over in a checkpoint one time, and I never get pulled over anyway because I don't do no drugs or drink or nothing like that. I'm not going to be in my car swerving, acting the fool. What I had at the checkpoint was I had bad tags. You know, matter of fact, it was an expired inspection back in Virginia. So I get a ticket, but the officer's like, hey man, if you fix the ticket, you want to pay this big money on a thing. It was like $100. It wasn't that much money, but I don't want to pay it. So I fixed it. I got an inspection. I went to court and I still had to pay like $70 rather than $100. So it was like, I might as well just pay the ticket and kept on my, I could have just paid the ticket virtually and not have to spend this time of my day in court. That's what they kind of bank on. But at a certain point, that might not be enough to get the money that you need. So as a result, hey man, we can't come to you when you call in the police. So not everything's going to be an emergency. This kind of proves another point about guns and the Second Amendment. The police cannot be your bodyguard anyway. We're not all privileged like Supreme Court justices to have security 24/7 outside of our homes. So when somebody comes to do something to us, if that ever happens, which I pray that it doesn't for you guys, but if that were to happen, we don't have the protection that a Brett Kavanaugh or a Neil Gorsuch or Sonia Sotomayor, we don't have that kind of protection. We got to protect ourselves. So if they say, okay, no more long rifles, no more handguns, no more this, no more that for the common everyday normie, then what are we going to do? The police can't protect you. Even if we do call the police and they get there after the fact, they might not get there at all because they can't afford to put gas in the tank to come to you. So at a certain point, it's like the message that's being sent here is you got to protect yourself and you got to stop the federales from stopping you from being able to protect yourself. The police, if they do come, they might not be able to help you. And if they don't come, they definitely can't help you. So arm yourself, protect yourself, be lawful, and vote right next time. If you're one of the so-called 81 million that voted for the guy in office right now, I know you regret it. You might not be a quote-unquote Trump supporter, but you're not a double gas price, having no money, being broke, about to be on the street, homeless, no place to live at, crazy rent supporter either, are you? I think not, but I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about this situation of the police force having to cut back because they can't afford the gas? Is it a thing that you're going to see all over the country? Is it a sign of things to come in the future if we don't see it right now? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I stand. This is predictable. Not everybody has the power that the federales do. Actually, nobody has that kind of power. The feds, they could do whatever they want. They can raise prices and then raise your taxes, rob you, gunpoint, take the money and blow it. Take the money and spend it on renewable energy. I saw them spend like $20 million on a rest stop. Some kind of crazy amount of money on a Northern Virginia rest stop. Just stupid stuff. The bridge to nowhere, that kind of thing in California. It irks me so much. You know, that the taxation is ridiculous, but it can do that if you're the federales. But if you're local, little small town, you're trying to just piece things together to make it work. And the feds interfering with your everyday operation is not very helpful. And you got to try to figure out a way around it without having the means that the federal government does. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.